Hey Jack.
Hey mate, how's it
How
going?
are you, man?
Good mate, yourself?
Yeah, going well. Well, here we are at the Melbourne Four-Wheel Drive Show. It's mid-2025. It's been a great year. We've been really looking forward to this show. It's the biggest one of the year. This year we've got Jack Milewaters, part of Bailey Cole Racing, the Australian contingent. This guy's one of the most passionate, keen off-road aficionados, off-road racer, just loves what he does. We're really, really proud and privileged to have the Defender here on the stand. It's been a massive draw card this weekend, and it's amazing the detail that this rig has. We're going to talk to Jack, do a bit of a rig run through, and just get a bit of an insight into what it takes to build a rig like this. So, Jack, how did this vehicle start off, man? Where did it come from? When did you get it?
So firstly, thank you guys so much for having us here. And I actually bought this car brand new in 2014. So like I picked the colour. Then
Wow.
The wife and I pretty much wheeled it to death. Like we took it out, and I actually didn't know her at the time when I first got it, but either way, went out camping and all that sort of thing and just lived in it every single weekend. It sort of got to the point where it got into quite a state of disrepair, and just like lots of little niggling issues. I was never happy with the power output of the 2.2. I'm not a diesel guy myself, so I was kind of always wanted to do something different with that.
Yeah.
So that sort of led me up to parking the car up in 2018, and just it was going to be a later problem.
Yeah.
At that time, we were like going really hard on the race truck too, and doing our absolute best to make that reliable. And I didn't have the knowledge that I did back then that I do now. So a lot of it was our learning step, like massive learning curves, and getting into basically understanding the racing side of the house and where we fit into that sort of thing.
So, I had a bit of a chat with your dad yesterday.
Yeah.
So, he has played with Defenders for a long time. Is that why you bought a Defender? Like, why did you choose this rig?
Yeah, so I definitely, I cut my teeth on a series. That's going in the video. No, so I cut my teeth on Land Rover Series 3 that had a 215 Hemi in it. So no stranger to Land Rovers with engine conversions, and I liked the utilitarianism of the vehicles, that there are no frills, but there's enough there. Like, it has cup holders, it has air conditioning, it has all these mod cons and of course in the later stuff, not my Series 3. That was like power steering sort of thing. No, that's what attracted me to it, and there was nothing on the market like it at the time, 2014. So the only other car that I really looked at was an FJ Cruiser. So I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of similar, right, in the mid-wheel base sort of thing. But at the end of the day, it was still too bougie, if you will, for what I was looking at.
Yeah, it needed something like a little bit more off-road oriented.
Yeah.
All right, so 2014, you bought the rig. You wheeled it. Had a few issues. Didn't like the TD.
Yep.
So when did you decide to start going nuts on it?
So it always sat there, and it became a part storage for itself.
Yeah.
So like over the next few years, it'd be like, oh, I did a couple of conversions in that time as well. So LS into Land Rovers, into a Discovery, into my dad's Defender, and then actually into a HX Commodore. HX Ute, one-ton Ute. So I did all those, and then I learnt a lot through those processes too. Started to understand the tuning side of the house as well. Not very well, but enough to get me into trouble. And then got a clear idea of what I wanted and collected parts. So then all those parts were going into the car. And I knew one day it was going to come a time where it's like, no, we need to get this car together. We need to get it working. And that was a process that took us up to March this year.
Yeah, awesome, man. And here we are. And
literally,
I know we'll talk about it maybe a bit later on, but I know that the last few weeks have just been absolutely insane for you and your mates getting it ready for the show. But let's do a bit of a rundown.
Cool.
Have a look at the stuff. Start from front. the bar, mate.
Yep.
Give us a bit of a rundown on the bar.
All right, so the bar is all 38mm chromoly. It's tied back to both the chassis. It doubles as our frontal protection as well. We've got the Fox steering dampener in there. Kingpin Fab have designed and done all the Discovery conversion. They've done the Discovery conversion, so we lose like the little gooseneck, which was a weak part of the Defender's side of the steering. I don't know why Land Rover made it any different, but anyway, here we are. So, of course, it holds our Carbon Scout. So it is a 15,000 pound winch. However, working with you guys, we ended up putting the 12,000 pound gearbox on it. So that way we could run the 7 horsepower motor while still having that speed. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I jammed it in there as hard as I could in the car to try and give it as much attack angle as I could.
Yeah, well, that's it's really nicely packaged on the front end here. Like, good approach angle. You actually got some like reasonable protection for the headlights, or the the spotties.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
So Baja Designs, mate.
Yes.
Why are you running those lights?
So Baja Designs have been one of the most fantastic team partners that we've had so far, and their product is genuinely second to none.
Yeah.
I feel very, very privileged to be able to represent them as a brand and display these lights, because it doesn't matter what we do to them, we cannot kill them.
Yeah.
In our world, like, we are consistently hitting things, not usually by choice, but and that doesn't matter. Like, Amy's done rallies with these lights at night. We race them in Baja. We've used them in the US. Bailey now uses them over in Thailand. Yep. They are just perfect and fit what we do perfectly.
Yeah, nice. And so the winch, really neatly packaged in there, mate. Like, great design that you've done there on the bar.
Yep.
You've got the air free spool as well.
Yes, that's correct.
So just a new product there. We're really excited to get that out on the market, and ours is a super low, well, compared to some others on the market. It's a pretty nice, tidy package.
Yes.
Air actuated free spool disengagement. So especially when it's really tight in there.
Exactly, and
makes
that was
a lot of sense, hey?
It was kind of an afterthought too, right? It was like, I mocked all the bar up and just had it sitting on a jack, and then like built my middle bar here, and then started building off of that. I wasn't too worried about guards, because guards are replaceable. I really wanted to protect the motor and all the juicy bits around there, protect my radiator and my cooler stack. But afterwards I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get to that handle. And then, I already knew that you had the free spool available, so I was like, no, I got to get my hands on one of these and be able to utilize that. And it just makes it so much easier.
Makes a lot of sense, eh?
Yes.
It looks really, it looks really good. It's, a great, accessory for a well thought out,
100%
package like this.
And most cars nowadays, like a lot of builds, do already have onboard air. So you should be taking advantage of that in its fullest and be able to do as much as you can with it.
Yeah. So anything different with like the headlights or anything like that?
That's all just stock.
Pretty stock.
Mission creep got to me on a lot of things, and one of them was that after I did Dad's Land Rover, where the mission on that was to make it look like Land Rover brought it out with the GM motor. That was the goal. We did it quite well, and then I guess the mission creep on my own was that I brought some of that over. So like, there is a aluminium radiator tucked in behind there, but I wanted to hide it away and sort of give it almost a feel of being factory. And that came over to the lights as well. So all the lights are 100% factory. All we've done, we did our metallic midnight black in the grille, but the lights are there, and the tape is literally just to hold the glass together if we break one. Yeah,
nice. I love the Land Rover shroud, mate. Like, it just really sets off the whole factory type look that you're going for.
There is actually one on the air conditioning unit as well. So the Land Rover air conditioning unit is there, but it sits more on a 45, like from where it is. So we made up all the mounts and everything to get that back in. Unfortunately, we had to jam a pod filter in front of it. That'll eventually change and end up in an airbox under the guard.
Yeah.
But to get us on the road and running and pre-running,
That's sweet.
it means to them.
Give us a rundown on the motor.
So it is genuinely a bona fide stock crate motor.
Yep.
We are going to run it on E85. I'm guessing we're going to be around the 250 to 300 horsepower mark,
Yep.
which is going to be way more than enough for this shorty. Way more than enough.
Yeah. And the transmission?
Transmission's a 6L80, so that's out of a VE Commodore as well.
Yeah.
Nice. So all of that sort of stuff, the loom, like the throttle pedal, the ECU, the TCM, or like the transmission itself, I should say, that all came out of the Commodore. So like literally had a donor car, pulled it all over. And honestly, I wouldn't, if someone wanted to do a conversion, I wouldn't recommend any other way.
Yeah,
You're
nice.
best off having both cars
Yeah.
and then transferring everything over, because it's all the little stuff that throws you out.
Yeah,
Charcoal canisters, for example, if you plan on having the car on the road.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And so you basically took the loom from the Commodore,
Yeah.
stripped it all down to just what you needed,
Yeah.
integrated it into the
Yes.
Defender
Yeah.
chassis.
So this
And-
one was a full integration. So instead
right.
of its own standalone unit, which can be a good way of doing it,
Yeah.
I decided to go the other way, and everything is pushed back into the Land Rover fuse boxes and a fully integrated unit. So
Nice.
all
That's
those looms
crazy,
are all
mate.
tied back,
Yeah.
and things like my glow plug wire, because that's quite a big line that comes from the battery, that now feeds the amplifier that's in for the sound system. So just little stuff like that, so it all has
sweet.
a factory feel to it.
Yeah, nice. So you got a cooler on top. What's that for?
So unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, that's our trans cooler. I really wanted to get that up underneath, cut a hole in the side, and then put perforated aluminium plate in front of it, like that real Prerunner and very practical way of doing it, taking a heat source out of the engine bay and moving it somewhere else. The common theme with this car has been packaging though. Everything has been so hard to package. So
Well, it is a short wheelbase, mate.
yeah,
so
we looked at the empty space and we're standing there. That's myself and Ryan Pohl from RPM Fab, and we're just like, no, it's got to go there. So it's actually attached to only the chassis side though, so it doesn't sit on the motor. It sits completely free.
Yep.
So that way we should be less prone to cracking it or any damage from vibration.
Yeah, nice. So you've got a high-mounted alternator bracket there.
Yep.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
So that was a dude. I can't remember, Christian King, I believe his name was, and he unfortunately passed away a number of years ago in a side-by-side accident.
Yeah, right.
So I bought that years ago, and it actually started life on my trophy truck.
Yeah.
So cause I had the alternator over on that side and a high mount for a couple of reasons. One, it just fits better in the cross member. Like we can keep it in the original position, but it was nice to have that space, and we ended up with engine oil cooler lines and all sorts through there anyway.
Yeah, nice.
Moving it up there, plus it being one of the Christian's original brackets was kind of cool to be able to like clean up and put back on the car.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And so what's the alternator power?
I honestly couldn't tell you. It's a stock L98 alternator. I generally run Bosch because I have had issues with others in the past. So no, run a Bosch alternator, and it's the same one that I run on the trophy ute, same one I put in Dad's car, my friend's car, so that way like we can literally just hold spares and we know we're probably going to use it eventually.
Yeah, nice. Mate, tell me about the Punisher logo.
Okay, this is a big one, and it was a big question whether it got left there or not.
Yeah.
So I may not look it, but I'm a little bit nerdy. No, so I used to play the Punisher video game as a kid, very young.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the first video games I used to play.
Yeah.
I was really, really into the comics.
Yeah.
And loved it.
Yeah, sweet.
So that we sort of started to use the logo on a lot of things, like it was on my Series 3, and it wasn't actually this logo with the 3 teeth and the square stenciled fit. It was more the rounded, generic Punisher skull, the older one that everyone sort of knows.
Yeah.
But then Daredevil came out, and John Brentfernal, he's Punisher.
Yeah.
Like he sort of started to make it very, very mainstream.
Yeah.
And a lot of people knew what it was. And then, of course, the Punisher got its own spin-off series on Netflix, so it became like ubiquitous. Like it became everywhere, and we were like, or for me personally, I was like, oh, it really lost its touch.
Yeah.
So at that time, I changed over and I went to another one of Garth Ennis's editions, or like renditions of the skull, which was actually this one here with the three teeth.
Yeah.
So I did that for a little while, and this was all prior to MOR Motorsport. So that's why that's there, and it was a question whether to leave it there or not, but it was like, no, it's kind of a part of the history of the car. Like there's dents and scratches and all sorts of things on the car, and all part of its history. Like I proposed to Amy on the roof of this car doing mud racing recovery. Like there's a lot of history for us in this car, so it was like, no, it gets to stay.
Yeah. That's a cool little touch, mate. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think so. Plan, or obviously current situation with your intake.
Yes.
Obviously not totally ideal for an off-road situation. So what's the plan in the future for that?
We're definitely still throwing ideas around. As you can see, we've utilised the bulge of the Puma bonnet in pretty much every way possible. So potentially whether we bring it up and have almost an OTR setup with the filter, but I prefer to run MAF systems in these just because it keeps it super simple, and it's one of the 3 sensors that our computer needs. If we go mathless, we have to run on VE tables, and we effectively make our computer a third dumber for literally zero benefit on a lower horsepower application like this. So that'll be the challenge if we did come over the radiator. More than likely, we're going to extend our plumbing and bring a nice big airbox into under the guard here, make it serviceable from the back, and run something like a 200 series Land Cruiser panel filter or something along those lines.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. Obviously, we got the massive Fox resis here. We'll talk about the suspension in a minute. Let's hook around to the driver's side, mate.
Of course. So you can see we've got some of our damage left over from, we used to have a Safari snorkel on this car. So that was all Sikaflexed on. So there was a lot of time spent on the caramel wheel getting all of that off. But again, it's just like part of the history of the car that, the deepest I've been, like we've been up to the Amy and I have been up to the windscreen. So like we've done some deep crossings in it and definitely tested the snorkel out. So no, we decided to leave that in, and that's an original panel. So it's like, okay, we'll leave it as original as we can.
Let's hook around and give us a rundown on the basically the driver experience, mate.
So the 3 things that I feel that everyone touches in a car, and of course there's more than that, like every time you operate a car, you have to use the door handle, you have to use the steering wheel, and you have to use the shifter pedals. So it was very important to me that not only did I drag over things from the race truck, so they had the similar feel, that it did feel like a driver's car. So
nice.
Here we have Winter's shifter. It was actually for a 4L80. So, and there's dude, I don't even know, it was bought so long ago, I have no idea if he still makes them or not, but a guy called Rad Designs in the States, he does the conversion kit to take them over to the 6L80.
Nice.
And what that means is that when we come down all the way to the bottom here, we actually have our tap up and tap down in the bottom of the shifter.
Holy hell,
so it all still works, it's all electronic, but yeah, we still get the mechanical feel of the Winter's shifter.
Damn.
And then I like all sorts of builds and all sorts of cars, so we dragged a little bit of like the hot rod, hot foot over, and that is genuinely built to my foot. Like that is a size 10. Like when Bailey got in to drive it, he has to put his foot further forward on the ground there, and then.
So is that the accelerator cable?
It is. So and it runs. You can just see it because we took our side vents out and our tweeters because we've got more plans later on. But the pedal position sensor's mounted up there.
Nice.
So That rod's connected to our pedal position sensor, so it gets it up out of the footwell, plus packaging. I had nowhere to get the Commodore pedal position sensor in, so our best advice, and it was actually an idea that I copied from the guys at Baker Fab over in the States. They did a lot of that stuff, so shout out to them.
So stock seats or?
Stock seats for now.
Yep.
I do plan to put some PRP, probably Bravos in there, because our intention is to race this car. Something along the lines of like the Australasian Safari.
Yeah, nice.
So we will go ahead and do that, but for now the stock seats will be perfectly fine, especially when we're spending so much time under our seats. So under this one here, we have a small little gauge there, and that's of course our NOS tank. No, I'm joking. There's an engine oil accumulator in there. So as we're racing and driving hard and all that sort of thing, I want to make sure that we are lubricating our motor properly. So if all our oil for some reason sloshes to the side and we do suck air, then our accumulator is able to just force oil straight back into the motor and maintain that lubrication.
And does that happen automatically, or?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, right.
So
is that off the pressure, or?
It comes off the pressure of our engine oil. So cool. I have nitrogen. There's basically a cylinder in there. There's nitrogen on one side, engine oil on the other. So we say we put 10 pound of nitrogen in one side, and then if our motor makes 50 pound, it'll push it back until it equalizes. Then our accumulator obviously has that 50 pound of oil to push forward. So the other benefit of that is that pre-lubrication. So every time I start the car and hit the ignition, because again, it's all just controlled on a solenoid, I hit the ignition, the accumulator pushes that engine oil straight into the motor. So it's already got 30-40 pound of oil pressure before I hit the key.
That's cool, mate. And I guess you're pulling all of that experience and knowledge based, out of the racing. And what happens in that space.
It's the poor man's dry sump, essentially.
But that's actually a really interesting concept. Like, I've known about accumulators and their intention, but in a car like this, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Like having a dry sump system in this truly probably wouldn't make sense either. Because then we have to find somewhere for the sump and everything like that. And race cars, like obviously we can develop our packaging and make places for it, whereas here it gets a little bit harder.
So you got the PRP wheel.
And then that hub is actually off my dad's Land Rover Series 3. For some reason, Land Rover have two different spline counts on the steering column. And his 2007 Defender and my 14 are both different. I have the older style, Dad has the newer spline count. So the hub fits mine, didn't fit his, so I just robbed it.
Thanks, Dad.
Made it work.
Nice. So you got obviously the center console is custom.
That houses all of our electronics. There's two PDMs in there. Traditionally, all of the fuse block and relay panels under the driver's seat, that's all been relocated as well up into the center console.
So you got like twist lock. So that
Zus
whole
fasteners.
Panel comes out.
So every single this top panel here that folds backwards for easy access, and then all the others come out sideways, so you can get to everything if there's any issues.
So what's the red button for, mate?
Oh, I was meant to tuck that back in because it needs to be drilled somewhere. It's actually our push to talk.
Oh, okay.
So we have the headsets there, so you have the option and the ability to run either helmets or headsets. And that red button, there's one on either side, that's the push to talk, to push it through the radio. It's just normal, like we can put those headsets on and talk to each other, but until you press that button, that's actually our push to talk for the UHF.
What's the radio system?
It's a Kenwood. So we've got the Kenwood UHF system there that's been derated to 5 watts.
Nice.
And the Comlink 10 system in there as well, which is our
intercom. Okay. That's cool as, mate.
With that's Bluetooth, so we can listen to music through that as well.
Oh, okay. What's the engine noise like? Is it not too bad inside, or?
I don't think it is too bad. To be honest though, it's a Land Rover. Even Dad's, like I said, it's super comfy and like made to be original. but even his is still noisy on those long trips and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
and a lot of it as well is like we need clear communication when we're pre-running, because we'll be going for a bit, stopping, writing notes, continuing on for that next section. So it was just sort of a no-brainer that it's like, nah, let's throw the intercom system in it, and that way we have no, like, you can just talk normally to each other. There's no yelling or anything like that.
That's cool. And so the top part of the dash looks fairly stock.
Yep.
Other than you got a little switch panel there and something going on the other side, another panel.
Yes, so that's our Monit Rally computer.
Yeah.
So that's, and there's also, we'll show you on the other side, but there's another pedal in the passenger side.
Yeah.
And that's a reset for the trip.
Oh, okay.
So when we're writing pace notes or doing any rallies that are on roadbook or something like that, Amy or the co-driver is able to reset that trip meter.
Yeah.
So then that way we can get our clear countdowns of when corners are coming up.
Yeah, nice. Wow, that's cool. And cup holders.
Cup holders.
Not sure if we saw them, but cup holders.
Yeah, you can't
have
a car
those
without
luxuries,
cup holders.
eh?
100%. 100%.
Look, we can see a bit of the cage through the back window here. So give us obviously just 4-point set up at the moment.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about the cage, the material, your intention there.
Yep, so the cage is all chrome moly as well. It's been built to Schedule I, or Schedule J standards for Motorsport Australia. The intention is that we will push it out the rest of the way. So take it out to a 6-point cage and then tie that back into our engine frame as well, again to be able to get that Motorsport Australia tag.
Nice.
But it's all done to standard as with the taco gussets and everything like that. Ryan Pohl again, he welded it all out. I did all the notching and getting it set up in there. And
so TIG or MIG welded?
It's all TIG welded. And we cleaned all the sections, and I never had the intention of having it bare. But after we welded it up and I sat it in there and oiled it, it was like, we're not painting that.
Yeah,
so,
actually looks really cool.
Thank you.
So you got a bit of a bracket with a dimple die set up. What's going on there, mate?
So this is, again, just to comply, this ties back to our B-pillar.
Okay.
So there's a bolt through there that goes through our seatbelt bolt. So that way it ties it all in, and it's another point that not only does it help support our roof, our roof panel here, it's also to tie the cage back to the car.
Yeah, cool.
There's another one in here too that supports the entire side of the car.
Okay. Well, there you go. Mate, that's some pretty crazy detail. What's going on at the back here? Mate, these mud flaps, there's some serious bits of gear, buddy.
Same thing, just that rally styling. That's all ABS plastic. I'm not sure how long it'll last, we'll see.
See how it goes.
But yeah, it is cheap. It's very, very flexible, and should be up to the task of just trying to keep our rocks and dust down as much as possible, and sort of out of other cars. Same with the front, protect the car itself. And then of course we have the sliders and stuff that Ryan did up. They're just incredible.
While the video's down underneath, we talked about the transmission but not the transfer. So can you tell us about the transfer case?
So it is it's the factory LT230 transfer case.
Nice.
Dad and I rebuilt it and put an Ashcroft locker in it. So it's both torque biasing and lockable. So while you're driving along normally, it'll be a 60-40 bias. So, and it'll change where it puts that depending on how much slip there is. And then for when we go actually off-road, we can just push our shift lever across. Super simple. We can do that up to 60 kilometers an hour. And that'll lock us up front to rear.
50-50?
50-50.
Wow, man. That is absolutely mint.
All right. I guess Emma Hutchison, she did the livery. And again, with how outrageous the rest of the car ended up, we tried to keep it as subtle as possible. And from a distance, it looks genuine. It's the factory styling, but of course I wanted all of our great team partners to be represented, and we felt that this was a really nice, subtle way of being able to do that.
It's super clean, mate. It's just very, very nice on the, the look and the decals, and, true to the, Land Rover type designs as well. So, mate, what's this thing?
Well,
what is going on here?
This is probably like the start of the getting it carried away stuff. So, I guess on the roof we have like the roof vent and everything like that. All of our GPS and antennas.
Yeah.
And then we needed to do our chase bar. So we wanted to set up for the lights and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we were like, not too many Defenders have a spoiler. not too many old Defenders have spoilers.
Yeah.
And like they are a piece of agricultural equipment, so it's not really something that you generally see. So we sort of toyed around, played around with the idea while we were working on everything else.
Yeah.
Cut a whole bunch of paper templates and would like hold it up and be like, yeah or nah, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then after looking at all the CAD models and everything like that, we settled on this design and we were all stoked with it.
Yeah.
Before all the wheels and everything and the flares and that were on, we were like, oh no, I think we've gone way too far here. But it actually seemed to drag the theme of the car through to that top corner.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of cool, you know, like you've got that like Punisher logo theme, you know, it's sort of pretty subtle there. You know, it's a bit of a sleeper build this as well. Like, you know, you're not going to really, you know, you sort of look.
you're not going to know until you get up to it
Yeah.
of like what it actually is.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? I reckon it kind of gives it that bit of a superhero touch, man.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
is like a superhero car. Like, yeah, I'm digging it. I really like it. Okay, cool. So around the back end, we got the obviously high lift jack mount, and you know, you got your tow bar, stock tow bar there as well. Anything else going on underneath, like at the back, like accessory wise, or?
So I guess the only again kind of subtle hints is you can see the sway bar tube at the back here. So we have a torsional sway bar in there, and then our 3.5-inch exit for the exhaust, which is stainless the whole way through.
Yeah.
That pokes out just there. So apart from that, just a tyre carrier. And this is one of the other original parts of the car. Like this was built a long time ago.
Yeah.
Probably will see some improvement later on, but it worked for what we're doing now.
Yeah, nice. What's the bars running across the back there, mate?
So these two bars here, they're for our coilover hoops. So very similar setup to what's in the front.
Yep.
This one has no roll cage joiners or anything on it though, because we didn't see the need to be able to remove that easily like the front, where if we want to get the motor out, when we need to get the motor out, obviously we have to undo those and have the ability to be able to get in there.
It's actually got a fair bit of like storage space in the back. Like, you know, if you
Yeah.
actually want to go on a trip,
Yeah,
you'll be able to throw the fridge in there, a few bits and pieces, and off you go,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be crazy enough to do the Simpson in this, just to try and prove that we can
Oh,
do it in
yeah.
a shorty.
Yeah.
And Amy and I are pretty used to doing it rough, so
Yeah.
it was definitely always done in mind to have our little 29-litre angle in there.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, a few bits and pieces. I think we'll strap the swag to the back, and that'll be about it. Everything else will be spares.
Yeah, cool. All right, we'll nick around the passenger side, mate. Have a quick look there. So, you got that foot pedal that you were talking about there?
Yes, yeah. So that's just Velcroed in at the moment because as we get, we're going up to Don River, as we get more experience with the car, we've already identified that it's too far away and too uncomfortable for Amy.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to make ourselves a little aluminium plate.
Yep.
So bring her feet for where her feet
of a
need
step.
to be. Forward.
Yeah.
So it's more comfortable, and then therefore she has the comfort. She has the comfort to do her job properly.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a hole there. That's normally where the Lowrance GPS goes.
Yeah.
So they're one of those time things.
Yeah, nice. So you got the transfer case lever there as well on this side. And anything else? Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything else.
Yeah.
So let's have a look underneath.
Yep.
Let's start with wheels. Obviously, we got some studs, some yellow nuts.
Yeah.
Give us a rundown on the wheels, mate, because I know there's a bit of a story about that as well.
Yes, yeah. So honestly, with the studs and the wheel nuts, I wanted it. I was trying. I was trying to keep all my spares to an absolute minimum. So if it fits one of my cars, it fits the other.
Yep.
So it was a super easy transition in these to go to the 5/8 wheel studs. So I know it seems backwards going from metric to imperial.
Yeah.
But then that allowed me to run a 1-inch wheel nut. And these are coated yellow because they're coated in PTFE.
Yeah,
so same
okay.
as like what's used in NASCAR, same as what we use on the trophy ute. And that's so we can take them on and off and hopefully not gack our threads up, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then for them, it's obviously about, because they're a one-use item, so for them it's about correct torques and all sorts of things. So
Okay.
Plus it adds a little bit more down the bottom there.
Yeah.
And then as for the wheels, we had a lot of trouble finding a 17x9 for in a Land Rover stud pattern, which is a 5 on 6.5 inches.
Yeah.
So we went through a lot of businesses and like asked the question, and the price was just going to become astronomical. So like well outside of our budget, even though they could be super cool. But either way, I'm kind of glad we didn't go that way, because we found a local business here in Melbourne that was actually happy to design and create these wheels for us.
Yeah.
So they were able to send the design over, or like do it all up on the computer, and then able to machine it out of a forged aluminium blank.
Yeah, nice.
So that's where these came about, and the price was very, very reasonable that what we could get them for.
So full custom wheel, basically.
It is a full custom wheel, with our own logo and everything. So
Nice.
no, it seems like it's crazy to think that was like the cheapest option we had to get into a 17x9.
Yeah. And okay, so moving back through there, I can see a disc rotor.
Yes,
popping out the back there. So is that stock?
All
or?
factory. All factory. So
Cool.
the rear diff's probably had the most amount of work to it. So it's all braced.
Yep.
We've got the Ashcroft air locker in the back there. It's pegged.
Yep.
So what that means is like we hold our crown wheel to the pinion gear by like a little copper bush.
Okay.
So in that way they can't separate, which Land Rover gears are notorious for tearing apart.
So normally, so you're talking about normally like the crush sleeve that they have in there?
No.
On
It's
the
actually
pinion, or?
it actually rubs on the backside of the crown wheel, right where the teeth are.
Right.
So where the teeth engage on. So say if that's our pinion and our crown wheel there, that sometimes the crown wheel wants to flex and move away from the pinion.
Yep.
So this is a plate behind here that stops the crown wheel being able to flex out then grab the end of the teeth and rip the teeth off.
Yeah,
so
right. Okay.
Help try and stop that. But and then just maxi drive axles, maxi drive flanges.
Yeah, nice. So I can see a little Design Fab logo popping out through there, mate, on the sway bar. So obviously got the sway bar.
Yep.
Give us a rundown on the shocks.
So up the back here, same shock package that is up the front. So 2.5 inch coilovers and a 12 inch shaft.
Yep.
And then same with the bypass. So 2.5 inch 3-tube bypass.
Yep.
And then the remote reservoirs that you see tucked around the car.
So ride height wise, where are you sitting in your travel range?
So right now the car is really high. I use my takeoff springs that I had from the trophy truck. We sort of estimated that it was going to be the same sort of weight, but it's actually turned out to be a bit lighter.
Yeah.
But it still gave us a starting point of where we want to be at. It's impressive for the show though. It's got the Cali lean on it as well.
I was going to ask, is that like intentional or just that's just what happened?
It'll stay with the Cali lean because that gives us that attack angle to sort of hit things harder in the front. And sort of sit the car where we want it. But I think we'll sit with the same sort of spring rate, but I'll go for shorter springs because we have next to no preload in these right now. And we're sitting way too high for what we are.
So you got about so how much droop have you got at the moment? Like have you got like at 12-inch travel? What have you got? About 5 or 6 inches of compression, or
the other way around. So in this build, due to the tail shaft, we've got more up travel than we do down travel at the moment. So.
Okay, you were saying the tail shaft is like about 3 inches long.
Yes. So that is definitely one of the challenges, and everyone that knows us is going to laugh about rear geometry issues, but. So same sort of thing, but we did our best with what we could for now. It works. It shouldn't break anything. Shouldn't. So that way we can get some seat time in the car and development time, and then later on, we did set the rear coilover and shock setup to be able to run leading arms and trailing arms, and move that diff back 100 mil after moving the fuel tank and everything, just trying to get length in it.
So basically you're going to do like a quarter chop on the rear, or how's
yeah,
that
yeah,
gonna
super
work?
simple in these. It's literally
Yeah.
just take out a little bit more of the
Nice.
of the guard, and then we'll
Yeah.
we may even do like fiberglass guards. These
yeah.
are the Spectre, Terra Firma Spectre flares, so
Yeah.
they're what came out on the James Bond cars for James Bond Spectre.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah,
Actually, they're a really nice bit of gear, mate.
they are, aren't
Yeah.
they? And they tick the box for ADR.
Yeah.
Like
Perfect.
no cop can say that my wheels aren't inside the guard. So yeah.
That's cool.
And of course we do have like our mod plate just here. So that's something we're working on and working very hard towards.
Yeah.
Jamie McDonald has been fantastic and been basically a part of the build since the start.
Yep.
And we're very, very lucky to have him on board and be a part of such a cool project.
Yeah, cool. So we can see the shocks a little bit better in the front here.
Yep.
So I've got a triple bypass in the front.
Yep, that's correct.
Yep. Triple 12-inch.
Yep, 12-inch triple bypass.
Yep. Yeah, sweet. Stock radius arms?
No, they're actually crank radius arms, so
Yep.
they gave us 3 degrees of caster change in the
Okay.
front. I believe it's still not enough.
Yep.
We do need to just keep rotating that diff around a little bit more,
Yep.
but especially at this sort of height.
Yep. I can see in the front you've got a 4-inch travel bump.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, is that
Yep.
Fox bump as well?
Yep, Fox bump as well,
Yep.
so 2-inch bump, 4-inch travel.
Yep.
And same thing, we may put a couple of spaces in those, just depending on how things go, but we really need to just take her out,
Yep.
putt around a bit, and then
Yeah.
start to decide where we want to take it.
And we've got some limiting straps there.
Yep,
as
limit
well.
straps front and rear. The original plan and why they're so long is that I wanted to utilise same spares as the Trophy Ute. Trophy Ute
Yeah.
uses 26 and 30-inch limit straps,
Yeah, nice.
which would have been okay. Like it just obviously would have been big log strap in there, but packaging had started to get a bit hard. So and we started ending up with clearancing issues. So the rear ended up with 12-inch limit straps, and I imagine that'll be the same on the front.
Yeah,
we'll
nice.
move them down.
So, mate, we're nearly done. A couple of other things. Front diff, looks Land Rover.
Yep.
Give us, the idea what's happening there.
Same thing, just braced.
Yep.
So we just welded the brace on, upgraded all our arms, so from tie rod, drag link, all that sort of thing, which we sort of touched on before.
Yeah.
But apart from the bracing, there's really not much modified about the front.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, if I broke something in the front, take tail shaft out, run it in rear wheel drive. So we beefed the back and left the front as it is. And potentially we might look at doing something different in the future.
Nice. Any like that's a little bit of plastic.
More ABS. So
What's the
again,
idea there?
I want my 2 cars to sit there and like for people to be able to look at them and be like, oh wow, like everything's just been dragged straight across from the pedigree race car into the Defender, and that's what part of what makes it that Prerunner style, that we do have the splitter on there. And it's funny, like these guards are cut. So I had damage on the bottom halves of both of these guards just from full driving and everything like that. So we cut out the damage.
Okay.
Set the bar at the bottom of this bar is the bottom of our guard, and then added the splitter, so that way it sort of gave it that nice clean feel. And I'm splitting there. But
that's sweet. We briefly touched on engineering and all that sort of stuff. The car is basically road registered, and you've been working with the engineer to make sure it's basically compliant from an ADR and road registerable type of situation. So you've achieved that, and that's bloody awesome, mate. In a rig like this, it's probably one of the most modified Defenders I've ever seen. Definitely in terms of Australia and its capability. So to actually have it road legal is a massive, massive achievement. And
we are still working towards that. But we really, and working with Jamie, we really did want to prove that you can build cool stuff here in Australia, but it has to be done right. And it has to be within the rules. So there is that leeway that we can do it, but if we can continue to work with our Department of Transport and everything like that to be like, hey, these cars are okay to be on the road, then hopefully it benefits everyone.
So you still got a few things to do there. You mentioned lane change, brake tests, that sort of stuff. So you're nearly there. Are you excited to? I can't wait to, hear once you've fully signed off on that.
Yes, definitely.
So tell us about some of the partners, like the brand partners and service providers, and just your mates who've helped you out? Like, give us a rundown on how you got here, man.
So those that like helped me out massively, of course, all our team partners, everything like that. But my dad put in so much effort into helping us out and getting the car together. Chevy Croker from CCM Motorsport. So it was Chevy Croker 4x4, I should say. So he's in Mount Gambier there, and he is a very, very busy man and dedicated a lot of his time to come and help us out. Lent us his trailer to take us all around, like just incredible. And then Ryan Pohl from RPM Fabrication. Ryan spent hours dealing with Amy and I and helping us build the car and put it together, and I cannot thank those guys enough. And then we have so many great team partners that came to the party. Custom Lithium has helped us out massively with the build. Of course, yourselves at Carbon Winches. And we couldn't wait to showcase your winch and how you are able to do and want to do bespoke builds for people. And I love that about you guys.
100%, mate. Yeah, we love, putting a bit of a Godzilla, sort of winch together for people. We're more than happy to, work that way to do a custom solution. So it's cool to, trick up something for you guys. Suits the build perfectly.
Definitely.
So that's exciting. Obviously, Baja Designs, Fox.
Yes, correct. Fox have been instrumental into it as well. They rushed these shocks through. They loved the build and what we were doing with it. So fantastic. PRP, of course, helped us out. Got also belts and everything. Decked out the trophy ute too. MBRP, and we'll make sure we get some close-ups of those, but they put together a wicked 4-inch muffler for us. So that's jammed up in there in the little shorty. That exhaust system is a work of art, mate, from what I can see. Thank you. So I did the front half, and then Ryan finished it off with the back. As I swapped over to wiring. And then S-Pod as well. So S-Pod helped us out with the 2 PDMs that are in this car. And I have nothing but good things to say about them. If anyone's been worried about wiring up relays and the mess of doing that and putting switches through the car, PDMs are going to be the future, and they're going to be the way to go. It is so simple, and it is safer. You keep the smoke inside the wires.
100%. So obviously Yokohama. You guys run a lot of the Yokohama stuff on the race cars.
Yes, that's correct.
You've got the G-Landers on here. Pretty well proven.
Definitely. We have, over the last 3 years, we've been working with Bailey Cole Racing and working with Bailey themselves, driving the cars ourselves. We have put the 003s through hell. We have absolutely slaughtered them, and they just do not give up. We've lost patches of tread, they still hold air. We've hit rocks and everything you can think of, and they are definitely perfectly suited for this build and match in with the rest of the team.
That's awesome, man. Well, man, that was a pretty awesome, rundown on the rig. We're super excited to partner with you guys. We love having you here. You've been great talking to people, showing the rig. The next few months are looking pretty exciting for you guys. We're hoping to see you guys over in the States as well, maybe in January.
And SEMA too, right? So
and SEMA. We got you guys there. So, looking forward to all of that. But before that, Don River.
So we head up. Basically, we leave straight from here, and then we take our show up to Don River. We'll go and meet up with the guys at Custom Lithium. They're putting on a fantastic event, major sponsor this year for the Don River Dash. So it's looking forward to hanging out with all the guys there. We've done a lot of work, including doing this. We also improved the trophy ute, fixed up our geometry issues in the rear end there, took it back to the dyno, got our horsepower back that we were missing. So really going up there to party this year. So we'll hopefully go do some damage. And
can't wait to hear the race report, see a bit of footage. It's going to be exciting.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome work, buddy.
Thank you so much, Dan.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for giving the viewers a bit of a rundown, and we'll look forward to an update.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, mate.
All right,
Cheers.
buddy.